Okay, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127, and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, I want to talk to y'all about Dragon's Dogma 2. But before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special thank you and a special shout out to Capcom for sponsoring today's video. And of course, guys, if you want more Dragon's Dogma 2, make sure you are liking today's video and subscribing to the channel if you are new. And let's go ahead and get right on into today's topic. So, today's video is not really a review on Dragon's Dogma 2. It's not a first impressions. For those who are really curious, I'm loving the game. The game's great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The gameplay you guys are seeing right now is actually Xbox Series X gameplay of Dragon's Dogma 2. So, if you haven't seen it played on any other platforms besides PlayStation or anything like that, feel free to enjoy. I do know the media was showcasing a lot of PlayStation gameplay previously. I know there wasn't much out there of the Xbox version, so just figured I'd showcase a bit of that. But no, in today's video, I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach discussing Dragon's Dogma 2. I see a lot of talk out there, a lot of chit chatter. I even predicted, just a few weeks ago before the game launched, I was just like, y'all know this game in the industry, man. They come up with drama for fucking everything. And I'm not even trying to offend nobody with that, but the microtransaction thing came up. People were crying about the frame rate. There's always something, when it comes to these games. But given Dragon's Dogma and given its history, right, there's one big question out there that I don't see nobody asking that I wanted to go ahead and ask in today's video. Now, we'll get to that question in a minute, but in order for me to build up this conversation, I need to talk about some of the things I like about Dragon's Dogma 2. Number one, I obviously love, the character creator. I love the pawn system, how you can summon your own pawns and actually bring your other friends' characters from other platforms and stuff like that in your game to help you out, and then, they get rewarded for it. That whole social system is really cool. It's like having multiplayer but not having multiplayer at the same time. I think it's something really cool, really fun. I actually had my fiance create my character's main pawn for me, and people have even summoned her into their games a few times, and she's brought me back stuff into my game, and I'm like, yo, this is actually a pretty cool system. And I did get to dive, I don't know why I said drive. I did get to dive into Dragon's Dogma 1 just a little bit, and see how this system works and everything like that. Now, I know there's been 3 Dragon's Dogma games from what I know. There's the original Dragon's Dogma, there's Dragon's Dogma 2, and then there's Dragon's Dogma Online, the MMO that got shut down. And, all 3 of these, they're like really dark, gritty RPGs and stuff like that. If you like anything along the lines of Skyrim, Dark Souls, any of that, I would definitely check the Dragon's Dogma games out. But what I wanted to go ahead and say here in today's video is, you have this beautiful party system, that definitely can work like, a Trinity system from an MMO. You have this whole built up social feature pawn system and everything. We're granted, you're just summoning AI. I know. And I'm getting to that. There's even, world bosses for you to take on where other players' pawns can be in your world walking around, and you can just happen to see a Cyclops, see some other players' pawns fighting it, you jump in and help, like a world boss in an MMO. And I just look at so many things with this game. Maybe it's just me. I could be wrong. If you feel I'm wrong, that's what the comment section's there for. That's what the dislike button is there for. You're allowed to let me know. But this game just screams to me, we wanted to make an MMO, but we did a single player game. Like, even the damn microtransactions that people are crying about are shit that devs sell in MMOs. Little fast travel bonuses, character reset. I'm like, what? And that's why this RPG is always going to confuse me, is because they had an MMO. The West was begging for this MMO, and they shut it down. But they keep making this RPG that's damn near like an MMO, but turning it into a single player game. And I'm not saying, you know, that Dragon's Dogma at heart's an MMO and it's not a single player game. No, I'm just saying everything about this game screams, I want to be an MMO. Like, even the final boss of the original Dragon's Dogma was like a 12 or 20 player raid boss that, you know, players actually had to get online and fight together. Like, if that doesn't scream, I want to make an MMO, I don't know what does. And I look at the features of this game. Now, granted, you know, it's an amazing single player game. But I look at the features, you know, I look at the things that they do. I look at how good their combat feels. You know, I look at how good they are with their particle effects, how well the developers can work with this engine and the stuff that goes on in this world. And mind you, this world feels so alive in Dragon's Dogma 2. That's one thing I got to give this game credit for. That's a really hard thing to do sometimes in single player games. And highlight on that. And I've heard a lot of people praise the game for that. The world in the game feels very alive. There's always surprises. There's always stuff to do. Now, this is you playing a solo game. Imagine how much more alive that world could feel in an MMORPG. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it really just shocks me that Capcom haven't bothered, you know, trying to take the Dragon's Dogma online IP, or, you know, just anything with this game, and try to build a true online experience with it yet. Now, I know, granted, one big reason they probably are is because, you know, the world hates live service games. We don't want no live service, because essentially that's what an MMORPG or an online game would probably have to be. That's how they work. You know, you get frequent content updates, but I'm just saying, if there's one game where it would work pretty well with, I think this is it. Like, if you ask yourself right now, Dragon's Dogma 2, the game you have right now, let's say if, you know, the pawns in your game really were just other players running around. And, you know, they could help you with quests in your world bosses. And Capcom was promising to deliver ongoing free content to the game you're playing right now, and it had multiplayer. Honestly, would you be angry at that? I personally wouldn't. And I'm curious to see what y'all think down in the comments below. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to have this discussion with y'all today and see what y'all thought. Let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments. Y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.